Hello there and welcome along to the Qatar Bowling Centre in the heart of Doha. We're here for the World Singles Bowling Championships and there are 83 men, 51 women from 50 different countries taking part. This is the World Singles Championships 2016. Debuting in 2012 in Cyprus, the World Bowling Singles Championships is held every 4 years and comprises of separate tournaments for men and women. Each member federation can send up to 2 bowlers to compete for the title. In 2012, the Americans ruled the lanes, with Chris Barnes and Kelly Kulick winning the gold medals for the USA. Kulick and the women's 2012 silver medalist Diana Zavjalova would be back going for gold again in a strong field, where their closest challengers would likely include Singaporeans Shayna Ung and Hui Fen Nhu, Colombians Clara Guerrero and Rocio Restrepo, and strong German pair of Brigitte Poppler and Laura Beutner, and the Swede Jenny Wegner. In the men's side of the draw, the key bowlers to watch out for would be Christopher Vi and John Janowitz from the USA, the Swedes Peter Hellström and Martin Paulsen, 2016 Asian champions gold medalist Michael Mack, Jonas Jahi from Finland, and Marcelo Schwartz from Brazil. With an exciting and high-quality tournament in the offing, the competition would start with a qualifying round, with each bowler bowling 12 games across 3 blocks to determine the top 32 to proceed to step 2. On the opening day, the men went first, split into 2 squads. When both were completed, Thomas Vrabeck surprised the field by taking the lead after the opening 4 games. The European Youth Silver medalist scored 953, including the highest single game of 279. Christopher Vi and Rafiq Ismail rounded off the top 3 with scores of 944 and 938 respectively. Other notable high scores came from Brazil's Marcio Vieira and Jamie Gonzalez from Colombia, both in the high 260s. Day 2 saw the first appearance in the Qatar Bowling Centre for the women, with them all bowling in just 1 squad. It took no time for Clara Guerrero to get into the groove, as she almost got a perfect score, getting 278 in her opening game. Despite this great start, Guerrero ended up in 3rd place as the young left-hander Beutner scored back-to-back 250-plus games. But it was her fellow German Brigitte Poppler who took a commanding 36 pin lead after the opening 4 games, thanks to a 234 pin average.
There are a lot of great women bowling here, like all of them from USA. My teammate, of course, Laura, Malaysia, Clara. There are so many good bowlers. Sweden, Latvia. I can't say that there's like anyone special because they're all really good. I'm just gonna try to do the same as I did today, figure out if the lanes are changing during the week, but nothing I'm thinking about right now, just enjoying that it was a really good day.
The men's block 2 was split over the next 2 days and it was the Swedes who blew away the rest of the field. Peter Hellström scored a 4-game average of 247, just ahead of his countryman Martin Paulsen, who averaged 244. Marcelo Schwartz also added his statement to the rest of the field, finishing the block in 3rd but some way short of the Swedish pair. John Janowitz took over at the top of the overall standings, closely followed by Belgium's Mats Maggie and Anup Aramsaranam of Thailand.
I feel really good. The strategy we made in playing was really good, so we just executed a little bit better in 3 games. So yeah, everything was together, a few good breaks, so it was good. I used the Brunswick Rhino, like in the practice. That was the best look from start to finish. It was just about getting the lane difference and be quick on the adjustments. But that was the same strategy from yesterday or 2 days before.
The women rounded off the action on day 3, where the standout performance came from the Colombian Rocio Restrepo, who blew away the competition in averaging 238 across the 4 games, to move up to 4th in the overall standings. Brigitte Poppler remained the bowler to beat, as she retained her overall lead, coming 2nd in the block. Other notable movers up the rankings included 2016 PWBA Rookie of the Year Hui Fen Nhu from Singapore, Sweden's Jenny Wegner, and Shannon Plawowski, who also made appearances inside the top 10 for the block.
I knew that they were going to be a little flatter than what we bowled on yesterday, so my strategy, what I was thinking I was going to do, worked out pretty good. So I was happy that I had ball reaction and I actually committed to all my shots today, and it definitely showed because I was a little confused yesterday, but today was a lot better.
The qualifying rounds to see who would make it through to the final 32 were concluded on day 4. Mustafa Al-Masawi from Kuwait bowled an outstanding block, registering 290 in his opening game and then going on to score a total of 997 across the 4 games, making it into the top 32 after a disappointing opening 2 blocks. Christopher Vai recovered from a poor showing the day before to finish the qualifying round just ahead of Peter Hellstrom and his American compatriot John Janowitz. Just sneaking through in 32nd position was Denmark's Jesper Agerbo with a 12-game average of 205.83.
Today was a good day and I was able to throw the ball very well. I had a little bit of a rough day yesterday, so I was glad to have built some confidence going into the next step. I did throw a different ball today, but I was just a little bit slower and just tried to concentrate a little bit more on making a good shot, and if I made a poor one, then I would try to make the spare as best I could and then just continue on with the next frame.
I'm very happy to be here because I'm kind of a late bloomer in Swedish bowling. I've been active for a very long time, but this is my second championship as a senior, so I found it, I'm just enjoying the moment.
For the women's third and final block, Clara Guerrero returned to form, scoring 966, ahead of Australia's Rebecca Vuklos and the ever-consistent Birgit Poplar. Poplar, of course, headed the leaderboard after qualifying in front of the Colombian pair of Guerrero and Restrepo.
The strategy changed from yesterday. I used stronger balls, I started farther left, and I can move in left today. So definitely different than my first day and my second day, and I'm very, very happy it worked out and that I led the day. I'm definitely going to expect the lanes to be different, not as many players, not as many, obviously, people bowling on the lanes. Every day there is slightly different, so just going to arrive with an open mind and just, bowl my best.
So after 12 games of qualifying, the field was cut to the top 32 men and top 32 women, who were then broken up into 4 groups of 8. Each group bowled 8 more games, and the bowlers earned a point for each competitor they beat in each game. The top 2 point earners in each group would then advance into the 3rd step of the tournament. For the men, Group A was dominated by Christopher Vai and Jesper Agerbo, as they both scored more than 8 points ahead of their 3rd place Manuel Otalora to qualify for Step 3. Group B had a runaway leader in Angers Grabrajan, who also scored the tournament's first perfect game. The remaining qualification spot was a close-run thing, with Marcelo Schwartz just nipping in ahead of Peter Hellstrom and Yusuf Falla. Michael Mack and Jonas Yahi were comfortable qualifiers from Group C, whilst in the final group, Rafiq Ismail continued his consistently high scoring to reach Step 3 with the highest points total across all groups. Thailand's Anup Aramsaranam was the other comfortable qualifier.
Stressful bowling out there today, but I just tried to do what I did yesterday and it worked out.
Talk us through that process. 8 games, to some people that seems quite a lot. How do you maintain your concentration throughout that?
8 games are pretty typical for tournaments that I bowl, so it was just kind of, another day on the lanes for me. But the format was a little bit different. I've never bowled something that it was, points per game. So it was a little interesting, and you kind of just had to focus on yourself and figure out where the points went from there.
You must have sort of one eye on the scoreboard, though, to see what your competitors are up to as well.
I tried not to. Okay. It's hard to do, but I tried to focus on what I had. But in the last frame, if I needed to do a certain thing, or if it didn't really matter, I could try something else. So I did keep an eye, but not too much.
There was the perfect game in there for you as well, wasn't there? That 300 came up, the first of the tournament. That must have been a big moment for you as well.
Yeah, because 3rd game I shoot 170. And I said, now I will have to play, and I have to play really good. So I shoot 300. The last ball was a little bit high, but still, 6-pin fell down, and yeah, great, 300.
And through to the semi-finals, you must take an immense amount of sort of passion, pride, courage, confidence going through to tomorrow's semi-finals.
Yeah, especially the confidence. You have to believe in yourself. You have to be calm. Even if some bad break happen, you still have to be calm, and strikes will come, and this is the key. I mean, you have to stay calm and just play your game.
In the afternoon, the women stepped up, and so for the first time in the competition did the reigning champion, Kelly Kulick. Despite qualifying in 17th position, Kulik won 4 out of the 8 games played to dominate Group A, ending with an average of 230, with Sandra Gongora a surprise qualifier as runner-up. Group B was full of several heavy hitters, and it was Laura Breutner and Shayna Ung who claimed the top 2 positions, ending the chance of the runner-up from last year, Diana Zavjalova. Jenny Wegner and Shannon Plawowski were on top form as they blew away the competition in Group C to make the final qualifiers for Step 3.
I definitely do feel like I bowled much better today than the last 3 days. Just was able to make consistent shots, and then when the pins fall over, your swing gets a little bit looser. So luckily they fell over, and looking forward to tomorrow.
How are you feeling going into a semi-final? Do you get nervous? What sort of feelings do you have as a player?
Not so much nervous. We'll just see what tomorrow brings, and there's some more lefties, so have to pay extra close attention to what's going on so I make the proper moves fast enough.
On to the final day of competition and Step 3. Made up of the top 8 bowlers in each of the men's and women's competitions, this stage used the same point-based format as Step 2 and would take the top 4 competitors into the semi-finals. In the women's side of the competition, Laura Breutner got off to a great start, winning the opening game and coming 3rd in the second.
Strike for Breutner, sets herself up nicely.
But unfortunately for her hot streak ended there, and the Americans and Singaporeans then came to the fore.
Perfect shot.
Shannon Plawowski won Game 2 with the Singaporean pair of New and Ung gaining a victory each in the next 2 games. Defending champion Kelly Kulik was in real trouble after the opening 2 games, with just 2 points to her name, but then finished 3rd, 2nd, 1st, 1st and 4th to finish as runner-up to her compatriot Plawowski. Ghislaine van der Tol and Jenny Wegner threatened to break into the top 4 at times, particularly with van der Tol finishing as runner-up in the last 2 games. But their inconsistency meant that it was Shayna Ung and Hui Fen Nhu who concluded the semi-final lineup. For the men, Jesper Agabo got off to a great start dominating the opening game to pick up maximum points. Game 2 saw a tight finish as Rafiq Ismail beat Michael Mack by 1 pin to take top spot, before Jonas Yahi found his scoring boots to score 268, 247 and 259 in winning games 3, 4 and 5. After picking up maximum points in Game 7, Marcelo Schwartz hauled himself back into contention and level on points with Michael Mack going into the final game.
Strike 2 for the Brazilian Schwartz, who's on a run here.
The pressure seemed to spur Mack on, and he scored 254 to win the game and qualify for the semi-finals.
Michael Mack here already 2 strikes, now 3 in a row, a turkey for him.
In the women's semi-finals, Kelly Kulik faced Shayna Ung, and the reigning champion got off to a blistering start. With Ung picking up her form and Kulik's dropping off, the match appeared to be in the balance heading into the 10th frame, but the Americans' experience came to the fore.
Kulik for the USA, up in lane 15, 10th frame. I thought she'd overcooked it a little bit there. I think a bit of fortune and just acknowledging that. Strike there for Kelly Kulik. Wow, all these players finishing strong in the 10th frame. Third strike in a row for Kelly Kulik in semi-final 2. And that gives her a finishing score of 216. It's not going to be enough, but can she finish with a strike? Yes, she can. Nice way to finish her tournament. She won't progress through to the finals, but...
In the other match, Shannon Plawowski and Hui Fen Nhu traded blows early on, with Plawowski blinking first.
A slightly tougher shot there for Shannon Plawowski, who had that 7-pin spare over on the left-hand side.
That gave Nhu the advantage leading into the 10th frame, with the pressure on both bowlers.
Plawowski. Super finish. Oh, she's on fire. So a strike there in the 10th frame as well. That with the first ball sets up the perfect finish with a strike in the 9th as well. And a second as well. So she'll get the third and final ball, the extra ball, a possible 30 points to be picked up in the end. With raising of the hand. This the final ball of the game, and finishes with the perfect 3 strikes on the board in the 10th frame and a final score of 2-3-7. Good shot, considering. Hui Fenyu, oh, she needed a strike there. So she'll finish with the spare. Spare should come down for Hui Fenyu, and she's clawed that one back and won it by 1 point. Needed that spare at the end to do it though. 2-3-7 they were tied on in semi-final 1. So it's going to be a Singapore-USA final.
In the men's semi-final, Jesper Agabo faced Jonas Yahi, with some exceptional scoring being produced early on. After that, Yahi failed to pick up a strike until the 10th frame, leaving his opponent to run away with a 234 to 168 pin victory.
Jesper Agabo loses in the final, and he finishes his semi-final with a strike.
In the other match, the scoring was equally as impressive early on, as both Ismail and Mac got 4 strikes from their first 5 frames. It was a question of who would keep their nerve. But the crucial frame turned out to be the 8th, as Mac failed to get a spare, leaving him with a lot of work to do.
Mac of Hong Kong. Again. Just a few nerves maybe starting to creep in here. Ismail and Mac. Mac to bowl, 3 spares to hit. Oh, almost got it.
However, the pressure was still on Ismail to perform in the final frame.
I think Ismail on 168 after 7 frames, then a strike in the 8th, a strike in the 9th, and 3 strikes here is his goal in the 10th. Well, he might have to settle for the spare in this first attempt in this afternoon's final, and that pin confirms it. We'll get one more ball as well, and this man is going to be in the men's final. Rafiq Ismail finishing with an 8 and a score of 2-3-5.
So, after 6 days of intense competition, the titles came down to 1 game, as Kelly Kulick faced Hui Fenyu and Jesper Agabo bowled off against Rafiq Ismail. In the women's final, the scoring was nip and tuck, with neither bowler able to gain a meaningful advantage.
Hui Fenyu of Singapore and Kelly Kulick of the USA. Singapore to get us underway then. First frame and a strike for Hui Fenyu. Excellent technique. And scored 2-3-8 in her semi-final. Kelly Kulick up next. Watching alongside me here is Chris Vai, also of Team USA. We'll watch this one together and then Chris can have his say. Perfect response. Strike from Kulick. So a great start for both athletes, Chris.
Yes, absolutely. These 2 competitors have bowled extremely well all week, and it's going to be a great match to watch. Let's see how it plays out.
Each ball was getting more and more crucial as the bowlers entered the 9th frame.
Hui Fenyu already has a strike. Her strike's coming in the 8th and 9th. So frame 9 for Kulick.
Left of her target there.
Shattered freeze coming on from the coach there.
Yeah, that was a little left of her target. Yelling freeze to try to get it to stop in place. I wish the bowling balls listened sometimes.
Oh, got it! Nice. What a great shot.
Very nice.
Difficulty level was right up there.
Absolutely.
And that's why she's one of the world's best, ranked 3 in the world currently, and showing that she's still got it.
That's actually very key. If she strikes on this first ball, she would only need 1 pin in the next 2 shots. So a strike here pretty much wraps it up. So that was a very big spare.
Yeah, big moment. As you say, could do it with just this 1 strike. Stova cooked it again a little bit.
Effort, yeah. But okay, you know, if she picks this up, she only needs 3 pins on her fill. So this is a very straightforward spare that she shot thousands of times in her career. So
just composes herself for this penultimate delivery. Oh, just the 10 pin knocked out.
That miss meant that New had a chance to seal victory with 2 strikes and 8 pins.
Needs that strike to keep her chances alive. Oh no, the little wobble on the 10, so it's not going to happen.
Kelly Kulick has repeated as the world singles champion here in Doha, Qatar.
This was the moment. 10 pin didn't topple. And a score of 195. Kelly Kulick, though, the 2016 champion, a score of 214 in the final. So there you go. There is your champion of 2016, defending champion from 2012, holds on to her title. And Kelly Kulick of the USA crowned champion. Take a bow, Kelly.
From 2012, Kelly Kulick from the United States.
Honestly, I feel a little bit relieved. It's been a long time since I've been in the winner's circle. I'm almost crying just because it's been so long, but I wanted to defend and I achieved that goal. It's been an amazing week here in Qatar.
Listen, you did it, so well done. And you told us earlier in the day that it was going to come down to the 10th frame, and it did, it really did. And just tell us what was going through your mind there when you didn't get the spare in the 10th.
You know, Nue Fen, she's been a shot maker as long as I've known her. Young, talented young lady. I thought for sure she was going to throw the next 3 to beat me, and she just left a flat 10. It was a great executed shot, but the pins didn't all fall down. Again, a little bit more of a relief for me.
And what will you take away from the tournament? A great place in the world to come and show us your expertise. What's your overriding memory of the whole experience?
The people of Qatar have been very gracious as hosts to us. The bowling center's been very accommodating. Everybody is friendly to each other. There's no animosity between the players. We're all here for one goal, and that's to educate the people about the sport of bowling. And maybe 4 more years I'll come back and defend my title again, so more excitement to come.
The men's final saw 7-time European champion Jesper Agabo against 23-year-old Rafiq Ismail from Malaysia.
The nerves aren't too strong here.
Both bowlers appeared to be showing nerves, and it would be crucial to see who got over them first.
High score of 257. Picking up 38 points as he qualified for the semi-finals and now the final. But leaves the 8 pin there standing.
You know, there's a lot on the line here, so you want to make sure that you're in the moment and you can make the best shot you can.
Left-hander again comes in. Oh, leaves the 7 pin this time.
Yeah, it's a very good shot.
So a strike and 3 spares for Ismail. And now Agabo, what's his reply on the 4? Yes! Nice strike.
Yeah, much better shot there from Jesper.
Shovels it down the lane.
The Dane just got better and better.
Frame 6 coming up then for Agabo of Denmark. Like that. That's 3 on the bounce for him. A turkey there in the 4th, 5th and 6th for the Dane.
Yeah, he's looks like he's getting in the zone. Let's see if he can add some pressure to the 19-year-old here.
It's of course easier said than done. Let's find out. 3 on the bounce so far, now 4. So a 4-bagger for the Dane. In command and in control here.
And it seemed that this was a little bit right of his target, but it was able to make it back and knock all 10 down. So that's a very good sign for him going forward. Fortunate break there to trip the 4-pin. A little bit left of target, but the ball just pushed just enough.
Well, fortune favours the brave. Yeah, just slightly tighter line there into the head pin, but brings all 10 pins down.
Let's see what Rafiq can do here in the 9th. Rafiq can max at a score of 226.
Has to max out here though, and leaves that spare again on the 7.
And now 215 will be Rafiq's max, and Jesper can throw all 3 in the 10th for 257.
By the time they got to the 10th frame, it was just a case of seeing how many Agabo would win by.
Fantastic scorecard towards the end. Just to make it 8 in a row. There's another strike. So an 8-bagger. And can he finish with 9, a pair of golden turkeys?
Yeah, you know, nothing like shooting a 250, bowling for the title of the world singles. So
yeah, dominant performance. 205. His opponent, Rafiq Ismail, just not good enough on the day in this one-game match. As the crowd get behind the big Dane now, we know he's going to be crowned champion 2016, and this is the magic moment when the crown is placed on his head. Just the 10 pin there, not toppling over, but there we go. Denmark's Jesper Agabo is the 2016 World Singles Champion. Deserved winner. Awesome effort, 256 to 205 in the final.
You've been firing on all cylinders since the last 32. You reminded everybody here this morning that you only just crept through into that final 32.
Yeah, that was nice actually, because when we started out the tournament, I didn't feel like I had the best carry. It looked like the right motion down the lane, but it looks like tall 12-pound balls when I hit the pocket. So we were talking about maybe changing some surface and stuff like that, and trying to just keep it stable and stay out of trouble. I was a bit nervous in the beginning, and maybe that's why I did such a bad shot from the first shot, because I was like, you know, that feeling in your body. And after that shot, I was just like, I have to do better.
Heck of a finish though, a nice run at the end there of consecutive strikes that really got you back in there and got you back out in front.
Yeah, I was just trying to keep my focus on my game instead of let my emotion go with me.
That wrapped up an outstanding week of bowling here in Qatar. The Singles Championships will be back in 4 years' time, hosted in Tokyo, but in the meantime, we'll leave you with some highlights.